Sports bettors, it is a great day to bet on some college football. I found an incredible bet for Kentucky Ole Miss on Saturday. So again, a common misconception, new sports bettors will have is I can look for my bets on Saturday morning and then just place them then. That's not how it works, right? Sports betting is a market. Lines are constantly moving. Lineups are changing. You never know when there's going to be a great betting opportunity, when sportsbooks are going to slip up, and there's going to be a bet that actually has value. So we'll go through this game very briefly. You can see Kentucky best offered plus 220 on the Betfair exchange. Ole Miss best offered at minus 238. So, the reason it's so important to kind of compare odds side by side is you need to make sure you're not getting ripped off, right? And this is only if you want to make money sports betting. If you're just looking for a bet to throw in a $5 parlay and you bet once a week, it doesn't really matter what you bet on. You're not going to make money. You're not going to lose money. Well, you're going to lose money, but you're betting $5 on a parlay once a week, right? This channel is really for people looking to get more serious about their sports betting and kind of learn the math, the strategies that the sharps use, right? The pros, people who do this full-time for a living. And really, it's about understanding markets, right? And what's so fascinating just about sports betting in general, and literally the most important concept, which is why we'll say it a million times, is every bookmaker is essentially an independent, data point on where the line should be set. So some sports books are sharper, and more efficient betting markets. So the Betfair exchange gets very active in big games. So it's a very good source of information on where are people buying and selling Kentucky, which is how you should think about it, right? Bet Online is another very sharp sports book. And then Pinnacle, which is the same as the OddsJam line, is a very sharp, efficient bookmaker as well, right? So essentially, all this tells us is we definitely don't want to be placing a bet on Kentucky on DraftKings or Ole Miss on DraftKings. And the reason isn't, anything related to sports. It's just the fact that, you can get 15 cents better on the Betfair exchange on Kentucky compared to DraftKings, right? This is just like rational sports betting. Why would you want to place a bet on Kentucky at plus 205 odds if there's tons of people betting Kentucky at plus 220 and there's thousands of dollars trading there? It doesn't make any sense. So the point spread, 6.5, not a play. I don't have a play on the spread or the money line, the full game money line. I have a prop bet. And then you can see the total points market, 53.5 to 54.5, depending on the sports book. So again, always look for value. It may not seem like a massive difference being able to get over 53.5 compared to over 54.5, but these differences make all the difference in the long run. If there's 54 points in the game, people who place their bets on BWin, Casumo, they're losing, right? If there's 54 points in the game, you're winning if you place your bet on FanDuel. So that doesn't necessarily mean this bet is good, but it kind of shows you that these discrepancies, can be pretty big. So this isn't obviously a massive discrepancy, but a way I like to think about it, and what someone first told me when I started sports betting, when I was working on Wall Street, is when you're betting at minus 110 odds, you only need to win 52.4% of your bets to break even. So if you're winning 55% of your bets on spreads and totals at minus 110 juice, you're winning. You're beating Vegas long term. You're beating the sportsbook, right? The sportsbook's advantage on you is only 2.38%, right? Most Americans can't even win 51% of bets on spreads and totals because they don't understand how markets work, how math works. They don't understand any of it. Looking for value, they just place bets. And they can't even beat, they can't even beat blindly betting over or under. And this has nothing to do with sports knowledge. You are not going to make money sports betting by knowing sports. That's absolute BS. People who make the big bucks sports betting, the people who do this full-time for a living are data people, right? They just are. They're math people, they're data people. And you don't even need to be an expert. You just kind of need to be, have an understanding of it. So essentially, we're just trying to find point spreads, totals where we can win 55% of the time. So that's kind of it. But anyways, the play I ended up going with is a positive EV bet. So you can browse odds on OddsJam for completely free. any sport you want to look at. But what this positive EV tool will do is essentially, I recommend keeping on the recommended filters if you're new to sports betting, is this tool will only show you, right, profitable bets, basically, right? Like bets that have enough value to beat the vig, beat the juice. And again, this is only possible because sportsbooks set lines independently. And it's the easiest way to make money sports betting, right? Is to look for value in the odds and find these discrepancies like this one right here that we're betting on, Ole Miss -3, where every sportsbook, right, is pricing this from minus, like you have 3 data points in the market because this is the same as this, right? The OddsJam line is the same as Pinnacle. So you have 3 data points in the market. You have Caesars, you have DraftKings, and you have Pinnacle, right? DraftKings is pricing this at -105. They only have 20 cents in juice. Pinnacle's pricing this at -102. We're getting +110 on Caesars, right? So essentially we can use a no vig odds calculator and we can say, okay, DraftKings is pricing this at -105 and they're pricing Kentucky +3 as still the favorite outcome, but at -115, -105, that's their market. So when you remove the vig from DraftKings market, the true odds is going to be +104, right? This -105, you remove the vig, the true price is +104. We're getting, +110. So we're beating the no vig odds. On Pinnacle, it was -116, -102. The true odds is +106, right? So you treat every bookmaker as an independent data point, and you're like, yeah, Caesars is a pretty clear line discrepancy. We want to be all over this first quarter point spread. And I hit it for $125. So it's really a volume game, right? This is a volume game. You want to place a lot of bets. Sports, doesn't matter, right? You got frickin', I don't even know who this is, Makabaki Habafa. So we have Iowa, Michigan, just tons of bets out there in the market, all with a mathematical edge. You're kind of forming your own hedge fund of profitable bets. I mean, that's literally what you're doing. So it's slow gains, right? Not necessarily slow, but you got to place a lot of bets. We're up 15.4K. But obviously I started building my bankroll with $25 unit sizes, positive EV betting. And, once you kind of understand the strategies, your bankroll's growing, you can start betting bigger and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. The play, again, is going to be Ole Miss -3. You can see a lot of opportunities just popped up on FanDuel. This is a dynamic market. And let's make some money, guys.